Alright guys, so I finally got to review the original Carrie on my channel, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and my top 5 easily. I think the original Carrie is honestly a masterpiece in terms of horror, in terms of directing. Brian De Palma does a fantastic job. All the performances are incredible in the original Carrie. The build-up is incredible. The dread is incredible. The horror is incredible. I love the original Carrie, and I love talking about it on this channel. But it came at a cost because I didn't want to talk about the sequel or the remakes of Carrie because I think that, from what I remember, they're all bad. Um, and rewatching The Rage Carrie 2, I'd say, yeah, this is pretty bad. There are things that I can give this that there are things that I can give it that I do enjoy though, but I think that overall this is pretty bad. The second Carrie movie, The Rage Carrie 2, originally envisioned as not a Carrie sequel. It was just about a very similar character, and then they thought, well, we can just milk Carrie and use that as a sequel and bring Amy Irving back. And it'll be like they're connected. Like Rachel, the new girl in this movie, is Carrie's half sister because Ralph White got with another crazy religious nut and had another girl with psychic abilities. Like that just how I said that just sounds really stupid because it is stupid. Because Rachel is related to Carrie by having the same father. And it's a lot like the first movie again in that aspect. It basically is the first movie with alterations. So like the beginning of the movie is that Rachel's mother tries to kill Rachel whenever she's a little kid, and because she's a crazy nut like Margaret White. Like she's literally the same character almost, except she's not as nuts. Even though she does try to kill her daughter, she's not as crazy, I guess. From what you see, we don't see enough of her. We just know that she wants to kill her daughter at the beginning of the movie. But so Rachel gets taken to this white trash kind of family and grows up there. And it starts out with her in high school, and her best friend Lisa, Mina Suvari, kills herself. Just immediately. Just immediately kills herself over this guy who doesn't want to be with her because he and his friends made this kind of sex pact where they're trying to have sex with all the girls, but not date them. They don't care. They just want to get laid, and that's it. And so then after that, Rachel starts figuring out that she's got psychic abilities. And she just starts testing them, and then by the end of the movie, of course, it's carnage. So this doesn't sound terrible, I guess, from how I described it. And I don't think this is a terrible movie. I just think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I think that it just has a lot of things about it that I'll describe as this video goes along, but it's just completely unnecessary. And the thought that they rewrote it to make it a Carrie sequel just was insulting to me in a way, because I don't know, like, it's literally almost the same story, except for, like, it's not good. That's the opposite. Like, that's what I don't like. It's not good like the first one. And I also wanted to mention, too, mentioning Mina Suvari, I liked how two actors from American Pie, a movie that came out that year, too, in 1999, were in this movie. The character who played Finch in American Pie as well is in this movie, as well as Mina Suvari. I think that was funny, that they both were in this movie and they immediately went on to American Pie right after. Or right during. They might have been filming it during. Now, you know how in the original, how Carrie starts figuring out her powers? Well, you know how it's so subtle and it's like she just had something move, something fall, a light broke, that with her powers, like it was a build-up. In this one, Rachel, every time she starts to use her abilities, it gets these stupid flash cuts where, like, she'll have her hand on her head and then, like, something breaks, and, like, it's just so dumb. Something breaks, like my voice, like right there. But, like, it's so dumb because it has these stupid flash cuts that are edited so poorly. They're very silly and out of nowhere. And it turns them in. They go and like whenever she has uses her abilities, the film turns black and white. Why? Like, it didn't do that in the original either. Like, what's the point of that? That's so dumb. So whenever she uses her powers, it's dumb. Before, like, the ending, it's dumb where she just keeps having black and white flashes, and it cuts really bad at the editing. So it's just really stupid how it works that way whenever she's using her abilities or starting to use them. Now, I want to talk about one of the saving graces of this movie, honestly, which is Amy Irving, who's a actress I love. I think she's great. I think that I want to see more of her in, like, more movies with her in it. There's a lot I haven't seen with her in it. I think she's really great in this movie, and it's, to me, the one saving grace, the one good thing about this movie is her, because, like, it's 20 years later, and of course this movie is pointless. Of course there's no need for this dumb movie, but, like, I felt like she gave off this real, like, sadness of, like, 20 to 30 years later, after the prom night where Carrie killed everybody and then killed herself. Sue Snell, her character, is still suffering over this and realizes that Rachel is connected to her, and, like, she tries to help her, but Rachel, of course, doesn't get it and doesn't understand, and just being arrogant. So it doesn't matter. So, but Sue Snell tries to help her, which doesn't happen. And she tries her best, Amy Irving does, to make this movie feel like it has a point. It doesn't, but she tries her hardest to make this feel like there's a reason for this movie. But her performance is good. I really do like her performance in this movie, but it's just, I don't like anybody else's performance, really. And they do the thing where it's a horror sequel and they kill off the character from the last one who survived in the last one. At least they wait until the end of the movie to have Sue Snell die, but fuck off. I hate that. I hate whenever you do that. You've ruined, because Sue Snell, at the end of the original Carrie, like, she's the only one who lives, and she goes crazy and she just goes insane. I love that ending. It's such a sad, dire ending of, like, her just being alone. All of her friends are dead. Everybody in the school is dead. She survives and is nuts. In this one, she dies at the end, and it's so stupid that, like, and it's dumb too, because it's at the end where, like, the harpoon or whatever flies through the door and impales one guy on one side of the door and then her on the other side of the door. And it's so dumb. I hate the fact that they killed her off. It's just, it makes this movie even more insulting to me. Like, I felt like it was just more insulting. Even though she was the best part of the movie. That's what's annoying about it. She was the best part, and then she dies, and I'm like, what's the point of bringing her back then? She gave a great performance, and then you kill her off. Whatever. Like, that didn't work for me in this movie. And overall, like, also, the thing I can really give this movie that I don't like about it is that it's just honestly really boring. None of these characters are interesting besides, like, Sue Snell. Nobody is interesting. I don't care about anybody. These people are horrible, and I understand the point of them being horrible. They are horrible to assert the fact that Rachel in the end of the movie is going to have the third act destruction. Like, she is going to use her power. She is going to kill everybody, like Carrie did. But Rachel in the movie is just like this goth girl, or not really a goth girl, but she looks like she's a goth girl, who a couple of girls just call her weird, and that's it. Like, there's no real, like, build up to her just setting off this rage. Like, in the original Carrie, you felt every reason why this character went crazy and used these abilities because of her sadistic mother who tortured her, beat her down, hurt her, and then, like, hurt her physically and mentally, and then all the kids at school making fun of her, making her an outcast, like, throwing tampons at her, everything. And this one, Rachel is just a girl that's just, these other girls just say she's weird, and that's it. That's a good way, or that's a terrible way to make it obvious that this is a lesser movie than the original, and just trying to make her not you don't care about, or at least I don't care about this Rachel character. Her performance is okay. Like it's not anything good. It's just all right. Um, and like I said earlier, her mother is or her father is Carrie's father too, and like he ran off. Like it said in the first Carrie that her father ran off. So I guess he ran off to find another crazy religious nut, which again is so stupid that he found another woman that's just almost just like Margaret White. Are you serious? And it drives me crazy that like they do that. And where does he find all these crazy religious nuts? Like that's just stupid that he found another person almost like Margaret White. That's just dumb writing. Really dumb. And I don't know, like again, nothing felt like a good build up to the ending. Like the ending I did enjoy some parts of it, but the build up to it was not good and not interesting, and none of these characters made any sense of like why Rachel, this girl who was just called weird once, like why is she the one to do, like there's no real reason for her to be angry, be furious, besides the fact that somebody filmed her and Jesse having sex and he didn't realize and she thought he did. So like that causes her rage because of that, because of a misunderstanding. In the original Carrie, she got all this torture, all this abuse, and like that's why she went off on her rage. This one, there wasn't a point of it really. Like it just was a misunderstanding, and that's what caused her to rage and kill everybody. Again, just the writing in this is really bad. It just, I don't know. And this is really annoying and insulting because right whenever the ending, the third act happens, where they're at the party, Rachel sees the sex tape going on in the background. Like they show it on a lot of TVs. And then Rachel like holds her head and like just sits there, and it has that stupid editing cut thing. And then like it literally puts in the voice of Margaret White from the first Carrie saying, "They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you," which is so out of place in this movie because she doesn't know Margaret White. She never met her. That's not her mother. What? Like, I think it's for the audience to understand, like, but there was no mother that told her they're all gonna laugh at you, they're all gonna make fun of you. But like that never happened. So that is so stupid that they inserted Margaret White's voice, like the line that whenever Carrie lost it in the first Carrie, like they're all gonna laugh at you. Like that line makes no sense whenever Rachel hears that line. Like what is the point of that? Again, just it's like they're trying so hard to make it at least somewhat like the first one, like in terms of like trying to make it good, but they use a good line, a great line, and a great moment, but it is ruined in this movie. It's not a good moment whenever she breaks down, hearing a line from a mother she didn't have. I think that's really dumb. And like, so that happens, and then we get to the carnage where Rachel, I do think this was kind of a cool aesthetic choice where Rachel, like the guy grabs her arm and like it's got the heart on it, and then the heart starts pulsating like the heart tattoo. And it kind of was and I assumed it was like a connection with her friend Lisa, who is gone. Like she is using that heart tattoo as like strength from her friend who died because they had the matching tattoos, or like the blood tattoos or whatever. Or they kept putting their blood on each other's tattoos. So I thought that was a kind of a cool symbolic way of like, even though it wasn't like elaborated well on the Lisa character, because she appears and she dies or kills herself immediately. So it's not like there's not anything going for these two, this friendship, but like I like the fact that it's like she's using the strength of her friend who's gone to fight off these people. I did enjoy that little moment where the heart tattoo starts beating, starts moving, and then like it creates like a vine line on her face. Like I thought that was a cool aesthetic choice. It was just a little choice that like I thought was a cool little thing. I thought that was fun. Now, I thought that the gore in the end of the movie was actually pretty solid. Like the moment where she goes outside to the pool, Rachel, and walking towards these characters, and one girl is about to shoot her. She's the one with the glasses, and then Rachel looks at her. Her glasses just explode, and the glass like flies in her eyes, and she screams. That's really effective. And then she like turns her harpoon and into this guy's crotch, and it's silly, but it's kind of cool. Where like the harpoon lands near his junk, and it literally shoots off. You see his nuts come out and his penis come out and fly into the pool with the harpoon. That was kind of funny, but that was kind of cool gore. Like, I thought that was kind of effective. And I like the fact that, like, she uses, like, all these CDs that, like, fly up in the air and, like, they cut people in the throat. Like, I thought that was kind of effective. Like, the final, like, the gore in the final act is totally fine. And even though I don't like that they killed off Sue, I thought that was kind of an interesting double death where like somebody's on one side of the door and then she's on the opposite, flies through both of their heads right through the middle, and they just sit there and cringe. Like, that's effective. That's effective gore. Even though I don't like that they killed Sue again. But then it's like it ends the same way as the other one where like she kills herself. But as opposed to, like, the mother just runs away. And you never get an elaboration on where the mother went. She just leaves. She just runs away. That's it. But Jesse says to Rachel, like, I didn't know, alright? I didn't know that they were going to make a tape. I didn't know that they were taping us. And she's like, you liar, you lying to me. And, like, she starts breaking some of the house down. And, like, they say they love each other. And, like, she throws him out with her abilities. Like, she throws him out of the house. The house, like, burns down, and, like, she dies. And then we get this really terrible ending scene, which I think they were trying to do something that the original Carrie did, where, like, it would be a jump scare. But the jump scare in the original Carrie at the end, where Carrie grabs Sue's hand from underneath the debris of the house, was one of the best jump scares, I think, in movie history. Like, I think it's incredible. In this one, we get this stupid scene where it's 1 year later at a university, and Jessie, the only survivor now, is at a university with her dog, and somebody walks into the window, and it's her, and he looks at her, and it has all romantic music, and then she just turns into the CGI mess where she just breaks into glass and disappears while it has a jump scare noise. And then he just looks in the mirror and just looks haunted. And it ends. And that is a dumbass ending jump scare. Like, what is the point of that again? Like, that's how I can sum up this movie. What is the point of it? Like, there are things that I did enjoy. Like, the gore was fine. Amy Irving was really good. But besides that, this was a dumb and it was a really dumb sequel, and it wasn't even a sequel to Carrie originally. And these characters aren't interesting, aren't fun. This movie is really boring for the most part. The build up in the original Carrie is fantastic, as you see every reason why she gets tortured, why she gets abused, why she becomes this thing at the end of the movie. In this one, it's such an afterthought that Rachel becomes this thing at the end. It's like these people aren't as much of a bully to her. They just say, like, she's weird, and that's it. So this just really suffered from being, again, not a real sequel to Carrie originally, and they wrote it in that way, and then just doing what the first movie did, but doing it in a really bad way comparatively to the first one. But it's not like the worst thing ever. It's definitely not an awful movie. It's just a bad movie. I don't think it's good. I think it's got a couple okay things about it, but it's really not good for me. So I really didn't enjoy this rewatch. So yeah, and I'm excited to talk about the other two Carrie movies, the 2002 TV movie remake and the 2013 Chloe Grace Moretz Julianne Moore movie. Which I don't remember liking either of them. So, yay, let's keep going with these. So yeah, overall, really didn't like this on rewatch. So, next up, whenever I get to them, I'll talk about the other two Carrie remakes. So, anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Tell me what you think down below of The Rage Carrie 2, because a lot of people either love or hate this movie. So, and I'm fine either way, like, love it or hate it. That's totally your thing, but I really didn't like it. Besides a few little things. So thanks, guys, so much for watching. Tell me down below what you think of this movie, and thank you so much.